everyone, it's Leo, and in this video I'm going to talk about my impressions of the Nanoha reflection movie. MAHOU SHOUJO LYRICAL NANOHA Reflection. I think that's the name. Before I talk about the movie itself, I want to talk about my experience with Nanoha, because yes, this movie isn't like the first thing about the Nanoha franchise, which is a very popular and a very big magical girl franchise. And I have kind of a story with this franchise, which is, I remember shortly after I learned about Precure and I started watching Precure, I went on to search for more magical girls, different magical girls, and Nanoha was one of them. I remembered I devoured the first season. Not actually, because when I started watching the first season, I thought, oh my god, what a blatant ripoff of Cardcaptor Sakura. And then after you get after episode 4 or 5 or something, you get totally impressed and you say, girl. And honestly, I really believe that's what they were going for there. Make a show that's very, very similar to a very popular show and then turn it around and turning into something else after a little while. And I just loved the first season. And then I watched the second season. I loved the second season even more than the first one, which was incredible. I love the second season. Up to now, up until today, the second season is my favorite. After that, I kind of drifted away from the franchise. I started watching the third season, which is Nanoha Strikers, but I didn't like it at all. Some years later, we had another season which was Vivid, which features another character, which is like the daughter of Nanoha and Fate, Vivio being the main character, and I couldn't connect with it as well. But I had another chance. Why not go to the movies? Why not watch the movies and try something else? So let's talk about Reflection. The third movie of a series of 4, I think, I'm not sure. And if you'd like to watch Nanoha, probably the movies might be the best way, because we have one movie for the first season, like summary up the first season, we have one movie for the second season, and then we have 2 movies after that, which are the ones I'm watching right now. I watched Reflection, and I'm gonna watch Detonation. First thing I want to say, there are so many characters in Nanoha. It's very, very hard to remember the names. I obviously don't remember. I suck for names, you guys know that. So I'm sorry if I don't remember the names of basically anyone. But I still think there's a lot to talk about. And, well, let me just say one thing. When I watched the Dragon Ball Super movie, the Broly movie, there was one thing that impressed me in this movie, which is the fighting scene, which I thought was very long. It was very good, but it was a very long fighting scene. And it got to a point in the movie that I was like, isn't this fighting scene gonna end? Like, come on, it's been so many minutes already. But then, with Nanoha Reflection, it seems like 70% of the movie is the fighting scene. This movie is a big fighting scene. Honestly. But I say this in the best way possible. It's super cool being this way. Really. Let me try. So we start the movie being introduced to new characters that I have never seen before, and they end up actually being the antagonists of the movie. Like, one of them is an antagonist of the movie. Like, she's the reason that the movie happens, and she's just trying to save her land, her planet, and she needs to get the book that Hayate has, one of the main characters from the second season. She needs to get that book because then she will be able to save her planet and save her sick father. So we have this girl, we have her sister, and then we are introduced to this plot in the first scene of the movie. Then we have another scene setting up the rest of the movie, which is the Nanoha world, which is our world, basically. And because there are lots of different parallel worlds and different planets and everything, they travel to other planets. It's a big story, and I'm not the best person to tell them. And so we start seeing Nanoha in her regular life. Like, we see her and her friends going to the aquarium and, living a normal life. And then we see her and Fate battling and just training, just having their moment. After that, we are reintroduced to lots of characters from the Nanoha franchise, the Nanoha series, and honestly, I didn't even remember those characters. When I saw them, I was like, oh, she's that character. Okay, I remember her. Okay, I remember this one too. Oh, this one. Oh, that one. You know, you just go connecting the pieces. But what matters is that after that, we see a scene in which the girl that was introduced in this first moment goes and she attacks Hayate because she needs the book, and then a fighting scene starts, and it lasts until the last minute of the movie. Like, everything that happens in the movie, like everything important that happens in the movie happens during a fighting scene. Honestly, this movie is basically this big glorified fighting scene. And I got tired of it in Dragon Ball Super Broly movie after a little while, even though the fighting scene from that movie is awesome too. But in this one, I didn't get tired of it. It was very interesting. It's like, it's a textbook on how to keep a fighting scene going long. Because things happen during the fighting scene. There are so many characters fighting. There are so many things going on. Very, very interesting way of handling a huge fighting scene. I think this movie teaches it very well. And there's also another thing about Nanoha that sets it apart from other magical girls, which I particularly don't enjoy very much. Usually what I like in magical, one of the things I like in magical girls is the clothes, the frills, the dresses, and you know, the overall costumes and the visual part of magical girls. This is something that brings a lot of passion from me. You know, I really like this kind of thing. And Nanoha, it goes to another way. It is more of a tech, sci-fi style magical girl. The clothes they wear are more like armored clothes. There are like, you know, cute parts of their costumes, but they're like very few. And their weapons are all high tech and everything. And I think that, like, it's not something I usually like, but Nanoha does it well. Nanoha does it in a way that keeps me entertained. If I were to choose like my favorite magical girl designs, Nanoha wouldn't be close to it. The Nanoha franchise would not be close to it. But when I watch it, it's not something that bothers me. It's not something that takes me away from the experience. And another thing that I really like is the fact that their weapons are like kind of sentient. They're kind of alive. Like Nanoha's weapon, Raising Heart, if I remember correctly, I love her voice. I love her voice. She talks to Nanoha and like the things she says, oh my god, it's so iconic. It is so iconic. Like, when I heard her voice in this movie for the first time, it got me back to when I watched the first season. Right at that moment. Because it's there, you know, it's there. And oh my god. Incredible, you know, like, those little details, they really make Nanoha special. We have Bardiche, which is the name of Fate's weapon, which is also interesting. So we see the girls fighting different types of creatures, different types of enemies, and it's interesting how each of the enemies, they each have their own techniques of fighting and their own costumes. The way, like this girl who wants to save her father, she is a very strong girl. She can fight in like a relentless way. I really liked when she appeared and she fought, but then there's her sister who is against her. She can also fight in a very nice way. This girl is being betrayed by someone else, and then we have this someone else summoning other characters, and those characters appearing and they started fighting again. And like there are interesting things about this is that as this fighting scene is very long, we can see all of the characters fighting at least a little bit. And like in Fate's case, for example, we can see her fighting with one weapon because Bardiche wasn't ready, and then Bardiche comes in at a crucial moment in the movie and she gets it back. She's able to fight as she always is. Very nice, you know, very nice, like fighting in different ways. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think Fate is my favorite Nanoha character. And her participation in this movie was very, very nice. We have different plots from Fate. One of them is that she is a very, very kind girl. She is super kind. She's been through a lot, as we've seen in past Nanoha seasons, but she is very kind. Her soul is a kind soul. And we see that a lot when she is fighting against a blue-haired enemy. And we see that during their fight, she's always trying to get into a common ground. She's always trying to talk, but she's relentlessly fighting. And there is something else about her as well, which is she has been adopted, and her mom is trying her best to make her open up and actually call her mom and, you know, starting seeing them as a family. And before the fighting scene, what her mom said was that she wasn't really being able to communicate with Fate that way. But then during the fighting scene, she is the one that gives Bardiche back to her. And at that moment, we actually see Fate calling her mom and acknowledging her as her family. And I almost cried at that scene because it was so cute and it was so adorable, so heartwarming. It really filled my heart and I really loved it. And another thing that I totally forgot, I mean, I remembered it and I was wondering, Nanoha has a ferret, and the ferret was like very prominent in the first season, I remember that. But I didn't see that ferret in the movie. But then in another crucial moment, that ferret appeared in his human form and he helped her. And then Fate also has a familiar, which is a wolf lady, and she also fights, she also appears. Like, there are many characters. There's the Hayate girls. The Hayate girls also fight. I love that. The red one, I don't remember the name as well. Me with names, like Nanoha, Fate, and Hayate is like my maximum. But, you know, very interesting. And then we have like the Hayate book that was stolen, and with that, new characters were summoned. And, well, those new characters, they are very strong, they fight, but obviously the girls best them in the fights. But there is something I didn't like about this movie, which is the main villain. So we have the girl who's trying to help her father. She isn't really a villain. She's kind of like someone who is doing desperate measures to achieve what she wants to achieve. And we totally understand her, but then there is someone behind her. And like, it's very easy to spot that this girl who's behind her is going to control her, is going to betray her, and what she's doing won't work. And we know this girl's playing her. We know that. And then, at the end of the day, this girl is playing everybody. Even the people she summons from the book, she is playing them as well. She's controlling them. She is a big hacker. She hacked the system. It's like, every time a new enemy comes, this girl's controlling the enemy. And then a new enemy comes, this girl's controlling the other enemy. Another enemy, the final enemy is here. She's gonna destroy everything. This girl's controlling her. You know, this girl, she's the queen of controlling people. She is the queen of deceiving. And that's the only thing I didn't like about this movie. I didn't feel that this character was interesting at all. And I think that maybe she lacked a little bit of the characterization we saw from the two girls at the start of the movie, like from the two sisters at the start of the movie. Maybe that characterization could have changed things a little more. I don't know. But still, I had a lot of fun, and this movie ends in a cliffhanger. So now it is time for me to watch MAHOU SHOUJO LYRICAL NANOHA Detonation, which is the continuation of this movie, and I'm very curious. I'm not really curious because I don't think something surprising will happen, because at the end of the day, everyone's alive, everyone heals, everyone's okay. Will I be surprised? I don't know. But I really liked this movie. I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. And as I said, it's a big fighting scene. If you like fighting scenes, you're going to love it. Because, and you know, fighting scenes from Nanoha are like beams, pans everywhere. And like different technique names, like crazy technique names. It is great. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It is a Magical Girl franchise that really deserves our love because it's great. Anyways, this is actually, I think, the first video that was sponsored by one of the members of the channel. If you become a Twinkle Imagination member, you can choose a theme for me to talk about or an anime for me to watch. And Inu, Baka Inubashiri here on YouTube, chose this movie for me to watch, and here I am talking about my impressions of it. Thank you, Inu. I had a lot of fun revisiting the Nanoha franchise. It was very nice. Anyways, did you watch this movie? Do you like Nanoha? If you do, please leave a comment in the comment box. Let's keep talking. And I want to take this time to thank the members of the Magical Cinema channel. If you are a member, thank you very much for all of your support. Thank you very much for being here with me. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, bye-bye.